This series is all about cutting-edge architecture. Travelling far and wide across America, we showcase some of the country's most groundbreaking and stunning architectural projects and talk to their leading designers to uncover the incredible stories behind them. Welcome to America by Design. American architecture is world-class, and our ByDesign team of industry experts have selected some of the best architectural statements from around the country.
I know that the general public really appreciates the beautiful architecture all around this world. And to be a part of it, celebrating it, elevating it, it's exactly what I love to do.
Seeing like a variety of projects and getting to learn about some of the details and why the project was conceived or why was it meant to be, that's why I get a kick out of it.
Let's get started with our first project.
When we think about urban projects, we don't always see prioritization like we did with 96 Broadway, where they are prioritizing outdoor access for everyone and collaboration among their residents.
The rooftop really creates an amazing oasis of luxury, but also community, but we see that through the other aspects of the building as well. It's an impeccable project that's really, really well done and an incredible feat for this architect.
Here on West 96th Street and Broadway, the foundations have been laid for a new expectation in quality residential architecture. And a big part of that is this guy, Thomas Juul-Hansen, whose design philosophy is to use natural materials to create an expression. So Thomas, just about done here.
Yeah, Mike, we're 99.9% done.
People are moving in.
Yes, it's very exciting to see life in the building.
Now, this is really where the story for me starts.
Yes, we clad the building in 2-inch thick limestone panels, not only at the street level, but it actually goes all the way up.
All the way up. I remember last time I was here, but being on the umpteenth floor, looking at a piece of coral right up there.
Exactly, and here we are again. More of the sediments. It really shows the life of not only the stone, but the life of the building.
And I suspect this is going to be here long after we've gone.
I certainly hope so.
The lobby.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that the lobby, on one hand, was intimate, so it's very soft in terms of the materiality, but we also wanted it to feel grand. So we're able to do a double height ceiling, and in addition to that, we carved this courtyard in the back of the building so that when you enter the lobby, let's say at night if you come home, there's still daylight that you're walking towards, and in the morning when you exit the lobby, you also look out towards the street.
Now, one thing I know about you, Thomas, is you like carving things out of stone.
Yes, I like stone. In this case, we were able to carve the entire reception desk from a block of marble from Italy. And that's sort of, the general idea that we work towards, which is making something that lasts.
That's what the whole building's about here.
That's what everything we do is about.
Thomas, you've somehow managed to jam a 25-metre pool in the middle of Manhattan.
Yeah, it's quite an unusual and luxurious amenity to have in the city.
Impressive.
What we wanted to make sure was that it felt more like a spa. So what we've done is we've clad all the walls in these hemlock panels. Hemlock is a wood, and the floor and the base that runs along is all clad in travertine.
Travertine, that's very Romanesque.
Yeah, exactly. We wanted to use a stone that didn't date, that really stood the test of time.
Yeah, I guess using natural materials, that's what happens.
Yes, nobody goes to Rome, looks at the travertine and says, this is so 200 BC.
No, you got that right. And there's something interesting going on with the acoustics as well.
Yeah, so all the ceiling panels are actually open in between the wood rails, and above that we have an acoustic blanket that absorbs all the sound. So we wanted to make sure that it felt like a spa and it sounded like a spa.
Yeah, especially with like the intensity of kids in here and so on.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're on the roof now, and this is very much a shared space.
The idea was that because we have such a large roof, instead of giving it all to the penthouse owners, we actually took the majority of the space and allocated for everyone in the building to use. So you can see we have several outdoor kitchens. We have all these different outdoor dining rooms, so families can come up here and enjoy this roof together instead of just giving it all to one apartment.
Well, you're right there. In this town especially, this kind of setting is usually reserved for the super wealthy.
Yes, and certainly I'm not going to pretend that you don't have to be wealthy to own a new condominium in New York City. But the idea is you can live in a one bedroom and still come up here and have access to this. And you can see we even have an outdoor screening room.
Isn't that fabulous? Imagine that on a summer's evening.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Typically this is dedicated to the penthouses. We do have a couple of penthouses here that have private terraces, but the majority of the roof is for everyone else to share. The idea is if you live in this building, you're part of this family, the community of the building. And as you know, the building is packed with fantastic amenities. And in my opinion, this of course is the best of all of them.
So you mentioned penthouses before. Any chance we could have a look in one of them?
Absolutely. Follow. So here we are in the penthouse.
Yeah.
As you can see, someone has moved in, yes, and the owner has been here for several months. Wow. And as you can see, it's a pretty spectacular room because we have the river view and we have the views of Midtown from the same spot, which is quite unusual.
Yeah, and this is quite the staircase.
This is really quite the staircase, yes. It's almost sort of a locator for the apartment that all the rooms spin off this center staircase. So we have kitchen, dining on one side, living, all the bedrooms on the other side, and it all kind of spins off the stair that connects it to the outside space.
Oh, I see, and here we are back up at the roof.
Yes, we have the majority of the roof allocated for the building to share, but we still carved out a couple of private areas for the penthouse apartments.
Yeah, I see a private barbecue area over there.
We have outdoor kitchen and we have a dining set on the side here. And here on the west side of the apartment, we have what I like to call the sunset lounge. We're looking over the river, you see the sunset. At night you can sit here with a glass of rosé and watch the sunset over New Jersey.
Beautiful, what a magical New York spot. Now, Thomas, you've had quite the tick of approval with this building, haven't you?
Yeah, we've been very fortunate. My clients, who are the developers, have both decided to buy in the building. And in fact, one of them is going to raise his family here, which is great for me because our intent was really to create a building where the families together would create a community for the building. And my clients have completely absorbed that to the point where they are now wanting to be a part of that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I take it as a great compliment.
The Beehive is an adaptive reuse project in LA, and it's a site that had a few existing buildings, and it's been repurposed for the community there.
You know, everything you read about revitalization and reuse of older buildings that have been abandoned, it brings the community together, it lifts the community up in such a creative way.
I love the way they use that beehive element throughout the entire space, but what I really love is seeing those redwood beams.
Move over Hollywood, there's a buzz happening at the Beehive in South Central Los Angeles, a mixed-use oasis that's already having a huge impact on the community.
SoLa Impact is a real estate development company. We invest almost exclusively in Black and brown communities. In 2019, we acquired 5 acres of red brick buildings located in the heart of the Goodyear track, and we went on an organic mission to really revitalize South LA. The Beehive became that, an ecosystem to provide access to economic opportunity by bringing together nonprofits and for-profits. It brought together creatives and innovators and entrepreneurs, just the entire community coming together to create a greater whole.
Sherry, we're here in the Tech Center, which I understand is your brainchild.
Yes, I grew up here in South LA, and when I grew up, there was nothing like this. And so here we are, and our main goal is to create the next generation of Black and brown tech professionals, entrepreneurs, CEOs right here out of South LA. And we believe if you can see it, you can be it. And so it's really about career awareness and providing that access.
It's very true.
If you look around, we intentionally designed it to look like a professional environment, something that you would see at a Google or an agency. We're proud to say that there's nothing like this that we can find in the rest of the country, let alone South LA.
So these buildings that existed are beautiful. What considerations were made when you were designing the space?
The story of the Goodyear track extends far beyond us coming in. So we wanted to bring back a lot of the history. The way we did that was bringing back the material to its original kind of aesthetic. The beauty about the warehouses out here is that you don't see a lot of brick left in LA, right? So we wanted to give the architecture the life that it originally had when it was originally built. So most of the redwood, we sandblasted to bring back that original fiber, the brick itself. We also took apart all of the paint that was originally on it. We didn't do it intentionally with the idea that we were trying to create this industrial look, but that's ultimately what happened.
Right.
And it gave it such a beautiful look.
There's also this very cool honeycomb motif that we've seen throughout that's really stunning.
That honeycomb motif is probably our biggest narrative. We went above and overboard with kind of that motif everywhere. The inspiration from that actually is rooted in what the community truly is. The hexagonal pattern that you find everywhere plays on to the idea that in a hive, every single shape is an identity, and that together builds up a community, holds up a structure. So we absolutely love having it in little things and big things to remind us that we're here to serve our community.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
The Beehive is an exciting example of what can happen when you take an existing structure and a creative team with a passion for their community. I'm so excited to see what happens next with SoLa Impact.
The height of sustainability is to reuse, not remake. And the School of the Art Institute of Chicago's library places a highly innovative space inside of a historic Chicago building and does so seamlessly.
They melded, the need for archival safety of historical documents and pieces of art while also creating a space for students that's vibrant and collaborative and really energizes them.
Overall, it's a masterpiece in weaving together beautiful needs of the building, of the students, but also the culture and the history.
The School of the Art Institute of Chicago called upon a rising star of the architecture world to reimagine their John M. Flaxman Library to be a destination for artwork, students, faculty, and librarians alike. Tom, every time I come to Chicago, I'm just in awe of the architectural history that's here.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago's a great architecture town. We celebrate our architects like we do sports heroes. This building's a really great example of early Chicago architecture. The school is actually older than the building itself. The school was founded in 1866 by a group of artists. We were founded as the Academy of Art and Design. So design has been a part of our nature since our existence in 1866. We've been reinventing ourselves since then, and every opportunity and every generation we get to spend more time on our buildings and reinventing the interiors. We put out a proposal. We were very interested in working with an emerging firm, and so we were really lucky with the firm we selected, and we were really happy to show you the library today.
Wow, Camille, this is such a contemporary space. I would have no idea that we were inside of a historical structure.
It is. It's surprising and exciting. The architects have managed to use texture and white on white in a really sophisticated and restrained way and allowing as much natural light as possible. We're actually in the center of the Sharp building, and the Sharp building's in the center of our campus at SAIC. We call all of Chicago our campus, but this is really the center of it. It's exciting that these 2 floors serve as a beacon to the center of our entire community.
It definitely seems like an atypical library. There's even parts about it that seem like a gallery.
I agree, and it was done by design, as you would say. It was in order to create spaces for display, but also spaces for community, for dialogue, for engaging with the collections, but also having an opportunity to reflect on how those collections inspire our own creative work.
One of the things that really excites me about this project is the fact that the school decided to roll the dice with an emerging firm, but they have such positive things to say about their experience working with you.
Yes, we were extremely excited when we received an invitation to propose on the library, and we really poured our heart and soul into our proposal, and we're ecstatic when we found out that we won the project. It's really been a pleasure working with SAIC and collaborating together to form the space that is the library. It was important for us to consider how do we plan efficiently for the space of the librarians, give them a lot of space for storage, and at the same time provide a lot of space for the students as well. We created this sawtooth corridor where all of the spaces for the librarians, their offices, their stacks, the special collections reading room are on one side, the south-facing side where light is coming in. On the other side, that's where we have nooks for students to read a book, socialize with a friend, and be able to peek into seeing how the library functions beyond that wall.
Great, it's like the best of both worlds.
Yes.
I know as an art school student, I loved interacting with collections like this. I saw it as such a privilege.
I agree. People really don't know what we have here. This is one of the largest artist book collections in the entire world.
I'm gonna dive in and take a look.
It's definitely been a journey being here both for undergrad and grad school. As an undergraduate using the older library, I tended to just come here as I needed to, but now because it's so much easier to navigate and so much more wide and open, I just find myself here a little bit more often, using all of the resources a little bit more.
Well, and someone told me that you have a book here.
I do. Another cool thing about the library is that they accept student work. So I have a comic in here that I did for a class called Mirror Exposure Effect, Stories from a Lonely Bi Person.
Well, I'm gonna have to find this and check it out.
Oh, thank you.
This season, we're proud to feature 5 affiliate awards. The Best Use of Lighting Award, sponsored by Ferguson, will be presented to one project that displays the most creative use of lighting. The Best Use of Technology, sponsored by Graphisoft, will celebrate one project that best utilised technology in its design. The Sustainability Award, sponsored by Green Building Initiative, will be awarded to one project that highlights exceptional sustainable practices. The Healthy Building Award, sponsored by Keim, celebrates a project that prioritised healthy choices in its design. And the Reimagine Award, sponsored by School of the Art Institute of Chicago, presented to a project with exemplary vision and imagination. Winners will be announced in the final episode of the season.
Ferguson is changing the showroom experience by redefining the way that people interact with products. It's no longer about shelves and shelves of inventory, but they create a real tactile way for people to experience these high-end products.
This A&D building is a designer's oasis. It's floor upon floor of mainly kitchen and bathroom manufacturers and suppliers, and one of them is Ferguson. They've been on the 4th floor for a number of years, and then one day, opportunity knocked. Hello, Mary.
Hey, Mike, welcome.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
What a beautiful space. Now tell me, what was the opportunity?
First, you have to understand where we came from to truly appreciate what the opportunity is.
Okay.
Our old showroom just didn't serve the purposes for what we needed at all.
I don't know, it seems functional.
A high-end designer would not want to come in there with their clients. It just wasn't on trend enough. But when you look at what we have today, this is a space we can be proud of. It represents the Ferguson brand very well, and we can woo our clients in, and they can bring their clients and very comfortably see what we have to offer. So the great thing about this showroom is we can show inspirational vignettes, how you would see it in a real life setting, which is what we didn't have in the old showroom. It was just lines of product. So ideally, a customer can come in and see how it would look in their real space.
I want that.
That is exactly what we're going for. The other really important part about how customers shop is when you're purchasing a faucet, a lot of times your showering system's handles will match. So we're shopping in here by brand, where you can see the showers and the faucets together. And also many architects and designers come shopping for a particular brand. Our first floor is all of our luxury product, because you can always start with luxury, and if you need to get economical, you can price to a lower price point.
Okay, but yes, start with the dream.
Absolutely, dream big, right? And then we can adjust to budget as we need to.
I like the way you think.
Right? The other thing we didn't have at the old showroom was working faucets where we could actually show the spray pattern.
Oh, can I have a go?
Yes, please.
Oh yeah, there's nothing like it, is there? I love the touch and feel.
You can't get that online. You can feel the quality and how something handles and see the spray pattern. This was so important to us. We had no kitchens in our old showroom. So here we were able to put in one working kitchen, which is amazing because we can show our beautiful appliances that we sell.
Yeah.
We have a place where we can bring in a chef and do live cooking demos, or we can make cappuccinos for our clients.
And this is one big slab of beautiful timber here as well.
There's a funny story behind this, actually. It was one piece of timber. After 7 or 8 tries trying to jam it in the elevator, we were forced to cut it so we could get the thing in. Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
Andrew, Ferguson usually do this kind of fit out themselves, but I guess the stakes were pretty high here, so they brought in the big guns.
This is actually our first big project for Ferguson. We brought our process, which is more a design thinking process, to kind of combine the business end of what they're trying to achieve with user experience.
And of course, you grew up in New York, Andrew.
Well, you can have a lot of firms who say they're from New York or not from New York who make sort of a cartoon version of what New York is. And one of the big strategies is making this sort of a New York studio feel. We created an envelope of like white brick, and then we created a high contrast palette. So actually the first thing you see when you come in, being monochromatic, is the product. And I think that's what we were trying to celebrate. And one of the big things we found when they first got into the space, we found this staircase.
Oh really, this was here?
Yeah, so this steel staircase was here. We said, you know what, there's no reason to create our own staircase. Let's make this part of what this Ferguson concept needs to be. So if the first floor is all about inspiration, the second floor is all about, what we call classification, the idea that you're gonna help clients make decisions about what the offerings are, the brands they want to choose and how it's all going to go together.
So what does that mean for the architect's brief?
Well, for a space that's all windows, we have to add walls.
Yeah.
We got to make sure we get all the product and or enough product so they can operate as a business.
Yeah.
So things like this wall, this comes out of nowhere. We got to put this in to say there's a certain amount of product we need to show. Ferguson has a system that basically turns around to the brands and says, hey, you're all going to be equally showcased, but a system that will work no matter which brand goes on it.
Now, Andrew, this is a gift.
There's no other showroom in New York that has this. So when this opportunity came along, the client fully took advantage of it.
Oh boy.
When we laid out the floor plan, we made sure this was the main vista, that everything on this level looks right out into the terrace and then the New York City skyline.
Makes sense. And yes, you do have New York all around you. You can hear it. Now, James, you're the showroom manager. You must really use this space.
We're very proud of this space. We're very proud of the showroom. This is a wow moment for the showroom.
Yeah.
It allows us really a functional space to show outdoor kitchens. as well as a space to entertain our clients.
Oh, so you have a lot of parties?
We have many parties up here.
Well, how do you get an invite to one of those?
We love celebrating the design community, so I'm sure we could have you stop by.
Now, what's this big old wheel over here?
It's a wood-burning grill. The wood would go under the grates. The wheel would actually lower the food to the wood to cook it more, and then as it's getting more well done, you're raising it up.
Oh, it's a nice piece of theatre, isn't it?
They love this, but they also love the pizza ovens.
Of course we do. Well, the showroom seems busy.
That's the plan. We weren't even on the top 10 for Ferguson showrooms prior to this remodel. Now we're there consistently, which is exactly what we wanted, and we're on our way to number 1. Right, James?
Andrew and his team have given us a beautiful space that our clients are now happy to bring their clients into. We have the right team now with the right product in the right place. We are poised to be number 1.
Sounds like the right architect.
For BHDP, this partnership has blossomed, and we continue to work with you to create even new ideas for the future.
Yes, we're gonna have to figure out which showroom we're gonna do next.
Mike, there's one more thing I have to show you.
Uh-huh.
Ready?
Yeah. What?
This is something our clients really enjoy.
What will they think of next? Which architectural project in the series do you like best? Tell us in 15 words or less in the Ferguson People's Choice Award. You and a friend could win flights to New York, staying 2 nights at one of Sonesta's 4 New York properties. Enjoy an exclusive VIP guest tour of the Ferguson New York City showroom and select a range of lighting and fans for your project, courtesy of Minka Group. To enter, go to bydesign.global. Most creative answer wins. Good luck. We hope you've enjoyed our look at some of the finest architectural designs from around America. Join us next time for more groundbreaking architecture on America by Design. For more information on any of the projects featured in this series and to vote in the Ferguson People's Choice Award, go to bydesign.global.